right. So, hey, Charles, thanks so much for joining us. Certainly appreciate you coming. And most importantly, congratulations. Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame 2020. Thanks a lot for joining us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, hey, Charles, I know, you're a proud grad. We've conducted several different interviews before, and everybody talks about the same thing, this love for Princeton and what Princeton meant to them. So go ahead and break it down to us. What does Princeton mean to you? Talk about your experience when you were in the district, as well as maybe a teacher or two that really positively influenced you.
Princeton means everything to me. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about others. I think the biggest thing that I took from Princeton is, how to love, how to love. There were so many different type of students from so many different type of backgrounds. I think it made me well-rounded for the world. You could walk down the hallway and just be around so many different cultures. And when you get into the real world, no matter if that's corporate America, if that's with sports, you definitely need those skills to move forward. I think the biggest thing that I loved about Princeton, other than just the cultural diversity, was just the support from the staff. I've never felt like I was on my own. I never struggled in any class too much. I just feel like it was always a helping hand, and that from the principals to the janitors, and that really helped shape me moving forward. A couple teachers that really played a big part when I was at Princeton was, of course, Ty Robbins, who I actually never even had for a class, but he was a wrestling coach, and he was there for me through a lot of things at Princeton, my personal life and sports-wise, academic-wise, if I needed. Another person was Jill Phillips. I don't even know if I can call her Jill because, I look at her as a teacher still. But, I had her for a math class, and she really just helped me out, helped me stay focused my senior year, around when that senioritis hit, and kept me focused on the mat, on the football field, as well as in the classroom.
Yeah. Now, Charles, I think you know this, but I'm a Cleveland guy, born and raised, and I actually taught at Notre Dame College.
Really?
I did some adjunct work there. Was there, the big clock tower and all that. Beautiful small campus, but man, 2-time national qualifier. I mean, that's amazing. A great wrestling program. Now, did you guys win national championships when you were there?
Yes, we won 3 national titles my time there.
Yes.
I won 1 or 2 being part of the wrestling team, and then 1 coaching.
That's great. So let's talk about the positive influence of the people who kind of lifted you at Princeton. Let's talk about, so after you left Princeton, what'd you do?
After I left Princeton, I went to Notre Dame College, where I wrestled. I kept a great ties to Princeton still. I would come back and work with the Little Vikes program, and that just kind of gave me balance and gave me focus moving forward. In college, I was team captain of the wrestling team. So that was big for me, just, extension of who I was at Princeton. I felt like I was always a leader on the sports teams, in the classroom, overall in the school. So when I got to college, I just felt like it was an extension of Princeton. Princeton prepared me to be the best version of myself in college.
That's great. So you're wrestling, you're a team captain, you win the national championship, you graduate from Notre Dame. And by the way, did you know a guy named Alec Torgensen while you were there?
Yes.
Yeah. He was a student of mine when I was a middle school principal, and man, he was tougher than nails. I remember in school, and in fact, when you were talking, I just remembered about Alec going to Notre Dame. But so you graduate from Notre Dame, then what do you do after that?
When I graduated from Notre Dame, I returned to Cincinnati, where I started coaching at Princeton High School, but I was hired on at St. Joseph Orphanage as a treatment education specialist. I served in that role for 2 years before I was promoted to team lead. And that was a mental health facility, that really kind of keyed on the mental health of students with home troubles or if they've been expelled from their school district. So that's where, I really got to dig into my passion of working with the youth. And, we had great results. When I first got there, our program was in a tough place. And as I stayed there and grew and built relationships with the families, I ultimately became dean of students there.
Mm.
And in that role, I was able to reach back out to my community and just help grow everything around me. Things like Thanksgiving giveaways, where we provided turkeys and food to, families that needed it. And I led those programs. I started a program where we, were able to give, dinner meals and after school meals to families in need. And that was one of my, brightest accomplishments, my biggest accomplishments for myself. Just being a part of that and actually leading that program to what it is actually still going on today. And that was called Hunger on Wheels.
Nice, nice. The whole giving back is something that I think, as a Princeton community, we talk about a lot. And it's so great to see that you're continuing that and started a wonderful program. So what's going on with you right now?
Right now, I'm the head wrestling coach at Mount St. Joseph University. This is my 4th year. I took a program, but when I first came, it had 3 wrestlers on the roster. And, in a short time, we've grown to be ranked 13th in the country. I won National Rookie Coach of the Year my first year. My second year, I won Regional Coach of the Year. We've grown a lot as a program, and we're in a real good place right now. But I think even more than, wrestling wise, we have created a culture of, hard work, scholar All-Americans, and giving back to the community. I still have a relationship with St. Joseph Orphanage, and we have the kids on campus from the orphanage, meeting with them. We prepare meals for Thanksgiving. We wrap Christmas gifts for them around Christmas time. So still, helping out at a different level with college students, but still finding a way to reach back to the community and help out as much as I can. And we run a free wrestling clinic for Cincinnati public schools to get them involved and grow the sport of wrestling in Cincinnati public schools.
That's great. Well, listen, when you're trying to grow a program, it takes someone like you who's going to work really hard, who's going to be dogged, who's not going to be afraid to have tough conversations and push kids. And we know that high expectations are so critical in life. Can you talk about maybe some of those experiences that you've had with some of your wrestlers, some of your student athletes, where high expectations, they needed a little bit more of a push?
Oh man, so many. So even through back when I coached at Princeton for a little bit, just being that coach that, let the guys know that wrestling is your tool. And, I kind of preach that all the time to my college guys now that, sports is not your end all be all. Sports help determine, your character. It helps mold you as a person. So I think just being that consistent light in these guys' lives to create a parallel between their sport and their actual life and the disciplines that you can take from your sport to affect the world how you best see fit. And, I think just one thing in particular, I had a student who, struggled a lot in school. And he was a military guy, and he finished the military and decided to come back to college, and he wanted to wrestle. And, he wasn't sure about what the program would bring because we didn't have a team the years before. And we built a good relationship to where he had to trust me as a brand new coach. I had to trust him as a a leader to help lead our team. And it was just it was times where we didn't see eye to eye on things. There were times where, he totally leaned on me to help him get through personal things in his life. And ultimately, he became a 2-time regional placer for us. He's graduated, and this year I hired him back on my staff, to be a part of our program moving forward. And I actually see him one day taking over for me in my program.
Okay. So what does the team look like for next year or for this year?
We're in a good place. We're starting off the season with 4 regional high-ranked wrestlers. All 4 of those guys also should be ranked high in the nation to start the year. Team rankings haven't came out yet, but we were ranked 13th in the country last year, and our expectation is to finish in that top 10 or top 5 range.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. So what are the goals? I mean, you've done a great job thus far. You got to where, it's great wrestling coach, turn the program around. There's nothing more satisfying than turn a program around. I know that firsthand. So what's next for you? What do you think?
Right now I would just like to continue to grow in the space that I'm in. Looking forward, I see myself as eventually moving into, the sports administration type of field, maybe athletic director, assistant athletic director. I think I have a great way of connecting with the youth and with, the people around me, building cultures, helping cultures thrive, better than the space that they're in. So right now, my goal is to graduate every single wrestler on my roster, help them be the best version of themselves, and see, help them affect the world best how they see fit, the same way that, many coaches did for me. And, long term, I would love to get into that athletic director role and in some type of way just to affect more than just the sport of wrestling, but, youth and everyone around me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Of course, as always, go Vikings.